Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Let's Go Candid with Urja. In today's episode, we have a fantastic entrepreneur who has now become an icon in our country. From shutting down his first restaurant to building up a 200% year on year growth in his business, he's got an extremely strong portfolio and record. He was featured in Forbes 30 under 30 list, one of India's fastest rising entrepreneurs, first one to launch 150 internet restaurants in just a matter of months. His company, Ghost Kitchen India, is a multi-cuisine, multi-brand cloud kitchen. He's also the CEO of a franchise management company named Yellowta Hospitality Management. He's none other than Mr. Karan Tanna. We are very grateful to have you here with us, sir. Thanks for taking out time for us.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction and very happy to be here. Just a small correction. We are now 1100 plus internet restaurants.
That's absolutely great, sir. Sorry for the mistake.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, so with your permission, shall we start?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so we'll be having two segments, each containing a set of questions gathered by our team. So without any further ado, let's start with the question and answer segment.
Sure.
So sir, we got to know that you have studied automobile engineering. So how come this shift from engineering to becoming a restaurateur? And what made you come into this industry? How has this journey been for you, basically?
Sure, very interesting question. I got into automobile out of no choice because in those days, automobile and maybe food technology were the two most not selected or not preferred engineering branches. So people who got less percentage in 12th standard used to get into that. So I had no choice but to choose any one of them, and I chose automobile over food technology. I did my automobile engineering and I started working for General Motors, followed by McKinsey and Company. And then, I thought that if I start a restaurant of my own, I'll become very famous. And it sounded like a very glamorous business. So, in fact, my motivation to start a restaurant in Ahmedabad was to become popular and famous and to meet more people and to be well known, which actually did not happen as I had planned. Rather, it is not at all a glamorous business. And later, I realized that it requires really hard work. You need to give in long hours, and I started enjoying it. So, it was not planned, or it wasn't my calling, or I wasn't passionate about it when I started the business. It was just that a young kid wanted to do at that point of time. And then since then I fell in love with the business. I started developing a lot of liking towards the business and realized that this is my calling. I like the business of restaurant, the business of hospitality. And then the life moved on and opportunities started knocking, and with support of all the stakeholders, good teams, we started growing, and here we are.
So this basically sums up to that we should have big dreams and that we should love whatever we do,
Yeah,
right?
and also, it basically actually also sums up to something very basic, which is, don't plan too much. Do what you like, or do what your heart tells you to do, and ultimately you will find your calling. I mean, there is no point of finding your calling or finding out what you are passionate about in a very structured way. That okay, I like doing this, and I'm passionate about this, and hence I should do this. So just do whatever you do honestly, and you might find your calling in that, or you might move on and find your calling in something else. So just keep moving on is what I learned.
Yeah, so exactly. Nowadays, we all, struggle with to understand what exactly is our calling, but you are really a great example, sir. So let's move on to the next question. So can you please tell us more about cloud kitchens? Like what made you think of this idea? And if you could provide us with more insights into the cloud kitchen industry.
Yeah, sure. So cloud kitchens basically are kitchens which we don't see on the streets. They don't have retail front face. They you can order online, and these kitchens are somewhere in the back road, or somewhere on the first floor, second floor, and you don't know where the kitchens are. So that's why they are also called virtual kitchens and dark kitchens and a few other names, including ghost kitchens, which is the name of our company. And the restaurants that you see on aggregators like Swiggy and Zomato, you call them internet restaurants, because those restaurants exist on internet, and they are catered from cloud slash dark slash virtual slash ghost kitchens. So that's what cloud kitchens are. And the industry is growing by leaps and bounds. There is a company called Rebel Foods, which has brands like Fasos, Behrus Biryani, which is one of the largest cloud kitchen companies, not only in India but across the world. They are present in more than 6 7 countries now. And otherwise, there are not many big companies in India. And there is a huge opportunity for the industry to come up with companies that can be large corporates in the cloud kitchen vertical. Because of Swiggy and Zomato, customer preference of ordering food delivery has increased and is increasing day by day. However, uh, the parameters that are required for the customer experience are not very well understood by all the restaurant owners. They want food delivery orders, but they don't know how to cater to food delivery orders or the demand which is there on aggregators. They don't know how the algorithm works, what is the importance of funnel, cataloging, the entire packaging in the customer experience journey, the kitchen preparation time, and so on. So we thought that it could be an interesting bridge to cover, wherein we help restaurants or cloud kitchens that are not able to generate efficient demand, that have a lot of underutilized capacities in terms of infrastructure, equipments, manpower. We thought we could help them by licensing our brands so that they can become part of the national level brands. We can help them to manage the aggregators, because we have a lot of data to look into. We know what to do of that data, what could be the call to action, and we could help them to solve the problem of dependency on skilled manpower by providing them ready food which they just have to assemble through simple SOPs. So to solve these three problems of restaurants and to help them earn incremental profit from the first order without any investment, we started the program that we have started in Ghost Kitchens of Fulfillment Partner. And in a few months, we are now more than 100 partners operational, with more than 1,000 internet restaurants, and there are more than 50 partners in pipeline today. So that's where we are at, and that's what lead to me starting this venture, because I wanted to solve the problem of restaurants not being able to generate enough food delivery orders and having a lot of underutilized capacities. And I thought that the attrition rate in restaurant was too high, and how can we solve it? So that's when this idea came into execution.
Okay, so sir, as you mentioned about certain parameters that one should take care of while making a brand scalable in the culinary industry, what's your viewpoint on how social media can play a social role in the establishment of an F&B brand in an Indian market?
I mean, social media in any market for that matter plays a big role now, because that's the medium where the consumers who can actually buy are spending a lot of time on daily basis. So, the kind of content you put out, the kind of engagement that you can have with your customers, there is a lot of opportunity of building a brand, introducing your brand on internet, people talking about your brand. If influencers talk about your brand, it influences their fans to follow the brand. If their fans follow the brand, and if you can hook them by the content that you create, then you can really develop a large community on social media. It's very important, although, because there is so much of content going on in social media, that you identify who is your target customer, and what does he want, what is he looking for, and give him such relevant content so that he engages with that content. And there is a top of the mind recall. So if you can leverage social media in a very methodological way, you can develop a great community. And we have seen the same happening with a lot of brands that believe in community building, whether it is offline or online, and they have a very clear focus on what is their objective out of social media, who are their target customers, and because of that, they can put out relevant content to engage them and hence build up a community and build up a brand.
Yes, so I totally agree with you because nowadays we are all just glued up to our screens. So having a good marketing over online network is really important. I do feel that. So let's move on to the next question. What was the most challenging task while starting a cloud kitchen? Like, how did you maintain the standard taste of cuisines of different brands under one roof?
So, because I had done F&B before, I was involved in scaling up multiple brands in my previous two ventures where I took exit from. We did not have such issues on or challenges per se of how to have consistency of food or standardization of food, because that's the first thing we solve for if we have an ambition of scaling up the brand. However, my belief about challenges is that I don't consider any roadblock or anything that takes more time than something else to solve as a challenge, because it's normal work, day-to-day work for us, because in business you encounter various things which might create a problem or a hindrance for you to grow or do something, but then you keep on solving those problems. Now, one problem could be bigger than the other, but if you take it up heads on, then even that problem can be solved. So there is no perpetual or continuous challenge that I face or that I can point out to in terms of starting or now growing the cloud kitchen business.
Okay, so like as you mentioned about problems, so you seem to be very positive about any hindrances that come in your way because you take them very positively, right? So, were there any significant failures? And if there were any, did you learn from them? Like, what was your point of view at that moment?
Yeah, I mean, in fact, my first venture, my first restaurant failed, right? It had to shut down in 1 year, and it was my first, own startup or my first plunge into entrepreneurship. But on the hindsight, this happened sometime 10 years ago in 2013. But on the hindsight, even when I see myself facing it, I was never demotivated or I was never stuck onto the failure, and I moved on. Since then, there have been multiple failures, and failures come in small form, big form. There is a strategy that you thought will work, it does not work. There is a particular outlet of you which isn't working. Your recruitment choices would have gone wrong. So there would be a lot of forms of failure that would come our way, but you need to keep moving on. So my outlook towards failure is that it's part of the game. You can't classify failure or success. I mean, there is no success if you have not stepped on three failures and moved, right? I mean, we can't expect to do one thing and be successful or to it. So I think failure is, like we used to listen in school. In true sense, we believe, and we encountered in life that failure is a stepping stone to success. It might sound as cliche as that quote, but actually, if you keep moving from one failure to another, and of course, drawing out lessons from that consciously or subconsciously, you move on to get success in some of the initiatives that you take. So I think failure is one of the most important ingredient to success. That is how I would define failure.
Yes, sir. You yourself gave the end line. So now, our audience would love to know the ideation and the thought process behind the interesting names of your companies, the Ghost Kitchen and the Yellow Tie Hospitality. How did you come up with such innovative names for your companies?
No, I think that I like to be creative. I like to be fun, and I believe I self-proclaim that my alter ego is marketing. Ghost kitchens actually is a quite generic term. In the US, a lot of dark kitchens are known as ghost kitchens, but in India, that wasn't used extensively when we started. So I thought it could be an interesting and a catchy name, and it also makes a lot of sense as far as our business is concerned, because we are a ghost kitchen at a lot of locations and within current restaurants. So even if you are coming to a restaurant, there would be our brands plugged online from the same kitchen, and those are ghost brands. You don't realize that these are brands running from this kitchen. So it made a lot of sense, and hence ghost kitchens. We have a lot of interesting names of our brands also, which customers have appreciated. Like we have a biryani brand called Badmash Biryani. We have a khichdi brand called MBN Khichdi. There are a lot of interesting names in our brand names also, which people find it quite catchy, and hence they want to order it for the first time. And the name of the brand, interestingly, ends up becoming a customer acquisition tool for us.
Yes, so I truly agree with you, because when I first saw that there are such kitchens and they are with such interesting names, I too myself was attracted for the same.
Great.
Okay, so as we all have been through a drastic phase during the COVID pandemic, what is your viewpoint on how it has impacted the culinary industry or the cloud kitchen industry?
Well, in COVID, because I mean, the high street business wasn't doing well or wasn't operated for quite some time, and people were at home. So, a lot of home chefs erupted. A lot of good restaurants started home delivery and realized that, there is a huge clientele for home delivery. They innovated their menus to home delivery. So in a lot of ways, because people could not come out, but still, as humans and as customers, you need a good experience in home delivery. People started to experiment in a lot of cuisines and a lot of packaging ideas, in basically elevating the experience of how the food can be served at home and how food can travel. And lot of those innovations and lot of those improvements that were done during COVID to cater to customers' experience demands, I have now sustained, and that has led to a permanent contribution in terms of giving a better customer experience. So I think because it was imperative for the industry to rely on food delivery business, they did a lot of innovation to not only sustain but thrive, and it is a lot of them have remained permanently as part of the industry now and added to the customer experience.
Yeah, so it came with certain hindrances, the COVID-19 times, but it proved to be something positive for the culinary industry, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, in every calamity, there is an opportunity, right? So it could have harmed the culinary industry in some ways, but, there is always a brighter side, and of course, it contributed in many ways to the industry.
Okay, so what do you think will be the future of the cloud kitchen industry?
Look, there are a lot of data available in market that in Singapore, people order in 50 times a month, or in US it is 40 times a month. So India is maybe 1/10 or 1/50th of lot of Western countries, and even countries within Asia. So we have not even scratched the surface of food delivery. We Zomato, Swiggy cater in 500 cities. We are in more than 40 cities. So we feel that it is just getting started. In next 10 years, it's going to explode like anything. A lot of interesting brands will come. Customer experience will have to be elevated. A lot of choices will come. I think choices convenience is going to just increase, and that will just lead to increase in the overall consumption of food at home. OTT is growing. People are watching more and more OTT. And the nuclear families don't have Maharaj concept, because both husband and wife are working. Working hours are long. There is a lot of traffic. People don't want to move out all the time. So the cloud kitchen industry, because of all these parameters, is just going to explode in next 10 years. I think we are just at the brink of a major explosion.
That's something great to hear, sir. So now, last but not the least, any advice that you would like to give to budding entrepreneurs?
Don't burden yourself with high expectations by benchmarking certain things that you read online or friends talk about. Every journey is different. Your journeys is different than another journey, and maybe because it is different, it could be better than the journey of the person you are benchmarking also. But live it like your own journey. Whatever you like, do that. Whatever you enjoy, do that. Keep measuring every quarter, every 3 months, 1 month. Have you grown as a professional? Have you grown as a person? Have you learned something new? Because especially in your age, next 5, 7 years is all about enjoying what you do and learning. So I think don't burden yourself by having a target of building a unicorn by being the youngest billionaire. If it has to happen, it will happen, and you will find an opportunity. But you'll only find an opportunity if you pursue what your heart tells you to, and if you do it earnestly and passionately, and if you don't like, just move on. So there's no harm in moving on. It's part and parcel of life. So don't burden yourself. I think, to put it simply, don't burden yourself with expectations. Sabka journey alag hai, and just enjoy what you do, and don't restrict yourself if there is a calling. मतलब अगर कुछ होता है कि मुझे ये खोलना है या ये करना है, तो कर लो. So I think there is no need to overthink. Don't burden yourself and enjoy, and ultimately you'll start learning.
Yes, so बस दिल की सुनो and trust the process, right?
Exactly. I think ultimately, you'll reach the destination. Trust the process. Exactly. Yes.
Okay, so thank you so much, sir, for giving all the answers very accurately and patiently. It has been very insightful. And now we would like to turn on to our second segment called the rapid fire round. Over to you, Rohit.
I think all the answers given by Sir was such a great and will help all the people who will watch this podcast.
Thanks,
Hello, sir.
Rohit. Hi, nice to meet you.
Hello, sir. I was mesmerized with the way you answered the questions with such a flair and depth. I'm sure it will help to inspire the new generation of aspiring entrepreneurs and will certainly help the cause. Now we have a fun rapid fire lined up for you, sir. Hope you have that fun.
Looking
So,
forward, Rohit.
So, sir, the first question is, what's your favorite cuisine?
I would say Gujarati food, my staple food, any day.
Okay, so like dhoklas, like are my favorite, sir, in Gujarati food.
Yeah, I like rasawala bataka, which is potato with gravy and chapati.
Okay, sir. So, which restaurant would you recommend that serve that cuisine?
There is a Gujarati thali restaurant in Ahmedabad called Atithi. It's a safest restaurant that I go to when I visit my parents in Ahmedabad.
Okay, sir. So, like my friend lives in Ahmedabad only. I'm surely going to tell him about the restaurant, sir.
Please do.
So, sir, what's your view on this new social media trend of fusing two cuisines together and making a new cuisine?
Well, I think to each its own. I encourage that if there is someone who is excited to blend new cuisine and call it fusion, and if he has takers for it, and if people are liking it, why not? I mean, any change or any evolvement, or how biryani came to India from some other country, and how samosa came to India from wherever, is because someone came from somewhere and blended his food with masalas over here, and something new evolved. So I think if someone is passionate about blending two things and he has takers for it, I would strongly encourage it. Why not?
Okay, sir. So, like, I was recently scrolling down my Instagram and I found Fanta Maggie, sir. What do you think about that, sir? That kind of
No,
content.
honestly, like I told that, it sounds really wacky and crazy, but if there are takers for it, and if more and more people start liking it, why not? I mean, I'm not saying that Fanta Maggie is an idea that I would endorse, and I think that not many people will like it. But tomorrow someone could do a soda Maggie or a Coke Maggie, and something might click, and people might like it. And ultimately, if the customers or the consumers are enjoying food, that's the essence of food, right? If you serve Fanta with Maggie, and if you blend it, and if people are enjoying it and they are getting a wow factor, then that's why you serve food to people, right? To wow them. So how much ever wacky it sounds, but ultimately if it serves the purpose of satisfying or delighting a consumer, I totally endorse it.
Okay, sir. So, like, say, if you want to fuse any two cuisines, which two cuisines you would like to blend in and make a new cuisine?
I would be very keen to blend Indian and pizzas. Not a lot of experiments are done, but we have just reached a fusion of chicken tikka pizzas and butter chicken pizzas. But beyond that, we haven't explored things like maybe salli boti pizza or maybe pav bhaji pizzas, or and why not? So it would be interesting to, because ultimately you eat bhaji with pav, and that's carb, that's bread. So even pizza is a bread. It's just about baking it in a different way so that it suits the topping of bhaji. So I would be very keen to see pizza evolve into a lot of Indian flavors.
Like recently I tried chicken tikka pizza, sir, and it's amazing, sir, must say.
Yeah, for sure. Why not? And there is a lot that can be done. There are regional flavors and a lot of cuisines which can be blended well with pizza, because people in India are used to eat carb, which is either a palm or a roti or a bread with gravy. And pizza by nature is basically a base, which is a bread. It has cheese, which Indians love, and the sauce can probably turn into any of the Indian gravies. So it will be an interesting combination, I feel.
Definitely, sir. So, sir, if given a chance to go back in time, what one thing comes to your mind that you would like to turn upside down, sir?
In my life, or
In your life, sir?
yes. I don't think anything, because I'm a very optimistic person, and I don't have a lot of regrets. But if I have to choose, then it would be more focus on my health. If I have to, I should have developed exercise and eating good as part of my lifestyle, which I'm trying to do now. But if I have to change one thing, that would be it.
But don't you think that owning a restaurant and having a good health is like contradictory, sir?
Well, no. I mean, you can have a good time at a restaurant, at your own restaurant. There are a lot of trade hazards, because you need to do a lot of trials. But beyond that, you could be disciplined, right? If you are not disciplined beyond that also, which was the case in my case, then there is something wrong with your overall lifestyle or discipline. So, of course, owning a restaurant comes with our own compulsions or passion of eating food, trying food, but there can be a discipline around it.
Okay, sir. Which type of content do you basically consume on YouTube or any other OTT platform?
Well, I am a very basic. I love Indian content and I love masala. So I consume content related to comedy, romance, or any thrilling series. For example, recently I am simultaneously shuffling between Hush Hush, which features Joey Chawla and other fine ladies, and Jamtara, which is into its series 2. So I love basic Hindi Desi content, and I love thrillers the most.
Okay, sir. So, like you prefer Bollywood most or like Hollywood?
Totally Bollywood, like any day Bollywood.
Okay, sir. So, like, sir, describe one of the most weird customer requests you have ever got.
Most weird customer. So, when I used to own a restaurant in Ahmedabad, there are a lot of Gujaratis and Jain. So, I got a request once from someone who wanted a chicken curry in Jain. So, he wanted a chicken curry, a chicken gravy without onion and garlic. So, that was really strange, but that was what he wanted. So, that's how it is, to each its own.
Definitely, sir. So, like, what do you do in your spare time? Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello, sorry, I think there is some issue in internet. If you can pardon, please.
Like, sir, I was saying, what do you do in your spare time?
Well, honestly, I like exploring new restaurants for sure, but in my spare time, I follow up with my teams on pending tasks. That's what I do. So nothing very interesting, but yeah, of course, whenever I get really spare time, I try to open my laptop and lay down some ideas about business, which I usually don't get to think clearly and write down. And these are some futuristic aspirational ideas or something we can do differently with the team culture or the business.
We just work, work, and work, sir.
Well, because I enjoy it, right? So, but I do watch a lot of movies. I love watching movies, and I spend time with my family, and that's about it.
Okay, sir. So sir, last but not the least, describe your answers in 3 words. The first is your college life.
I would say insane, unbelievable, the best part. These 3 words for my college life.
Okay, sir. The second one is, sir, your motivation.
Uh, I think creating impact. Second, my team, and third is the success of fulfillment partners.
Okay, sir. Sir, the last, sir, your fans who love you the most.
Sorry,
Your fans, sir, who love you the most.
my fans.
Yes, sir.
Rohit, I'm very sorry, man. I don't have fans. I'm not a celebrity or famous. I don't have fans. There are well wishers, and of course, you like meeting your well wishers, and you like meeting people who have followed your journey and who have wished you well, and you feel extremely thankful to them that they are watching from the fence and they are cheering for you. So, I don't have fans so far. I hope I can do good work that I have fans per se. But, there could be well-wishers who are cheering for you irrespective of whether they have something to gain or not. So I think nothing but, gratefulness for them.
That's really a humble answer, sir, I must say. So, sir, in conclusion, we have now completed the rapid fire round for this session. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. This was really interesting as we got to know the process of work on an entrepreneur and a successful restaurant as well. On the behalf of entire Urja team and the student of SGG we are grateful to have opportunity to have such an insightful conversation with you. We hope that you had fun answering those questions, sir.
Absolutely, Rohit. Thank you for having me, and see you soon.
Yes, sir.
Bye, guys.
Bye, sir. Have a nice day, sir.
You too.